Coming up is part 2 and the conclusion of the introductory episode of my video podcast, Live with Purpose. All this possible with the collaboration of Sandy Viteri, marketing strategist and founder of the Video Podcast Academy, highly talented and creative Carlos Rodriguez, senior editor, who has made all this production possible, and your host, Laura Galdo. In this video, you will learn how I created both of my video podcasts in English and in Spanish, Live with Purpose and Camino con Propósito. What prompted me to achieve this goal, why I decided to embark on this journey, and who I dedicate this to. Here and in the upcoming season of Live with Purpose, you'll discover how you can learn from my mistakes and the life lessons also learned from my guests. Be ready to take notes because we'll give you tips on how to recapture your dream and make it reality. I will also tell you how we can work together to help you shift your mindset to achieve your own goals and radically transform your life and improve emotionally, mentally, spiritually, and financially, ultimately to live a life with purpose. Anxiety comes from not being able to breathe properly. And not being able to breathe properly comes from where your breath is coming from. If your breath is shallow and it comes from the lungs, it's that you're catching your breath because you cannot take it anymore. But if your breath comes from the energy that feels and feeds all your chakra energies in your body, then that's the beautiful thing.
I have a 24-year-old now too, and I went through that as well. So keep going.
You think that you are the only one that goes through difficult situations in life, and no, you're not. And that is the reason why we do what we do.
Exactly.
Because we realize at some point that, no, my God, there's going to be other people out there. There's going to be other empty nesters. There's going to be other women struggling, whether they are empty nesters with their partners or alone, or caring for elderly parents, which is something else that I've heard a lot. They're empty nesters, and then they are caring for elderly parents, or they had pets for years that they enjoyed with their children. The pets passed away. No pets, no children, perhaps not even with a partner, and the parents could be very sick, or maybe lost parents already.
You're so right. I mean, it's not only parenthood.
Not only
it's caring.
Empty nester.
Empty nester. Okay.
It's the idea that I have come out to after all the struggling and thinking that, they said, wait a second, empty nester, why do we blame the poor kids?
Even the cat, if the cat left.
The cat, my cat is his soul, it's like for 19 years, honey, I have to mention him, he was with us for 19 years.
Absolutely.
Our pet, Trixie, she was with us for almost 16 years. And we lost them one back to back. That's another podcast. But it's, so the kids left, the pets left, then my parents got independent. Luckily, they're healthy and I have them close to me, living somewhere else independently. And so my mom is like me. I guess that's why I'm like, my daughters are like me. but it's empty. This empty nesting feeling does not only apply, which is where I want to get. And thank you for leading me to that, because that's exactly how I feel. It's just you and yourself. So empty nesters are only on the space, like in the wheel of life in coaching, we talk about different spaces in your life, and the physical space is one of them. So it's not just the physical space, it's also the inner space inside. How empty do you feel inside?
Wow.
So
Wow, this is deep. This is really powerful. So now we got to the point where you found you. And you found that purpose.
Exactly.
Is that what you would say is the actual end result of
it's not
process?
An end result, because I realized
it's still work in progress, obviously.
I realized then also that you could not push something that is never going to happen. The end result of a person is when the person takes the last breath. Meanwhile, it's a constant learning process. But do you get to a point where you can say, oh my God, I have, look at the back, I have gone from there to here.
Yeah, and you see progress.
And connection. I am connecting also with the source, with my higher self. You call it God, whatever you believe in. It doesn't matter. But it is a connection that you cannot avoid. You cannot not accept. It's there. We are full of energy. We are made of energy, and in energy we live.
Yeah.
And so it's good to at least know that yes, I have taken steps forward.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas before I felt that I was stuck, that I was frozen in time, that nothing was moving, even though everything around me was moving.
But you didn't feel like you were moving.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Everybody was progressing and moving around, both positive and negative things were happening. Yeah. And I was like in another dimension, watching from another space in time.
Yeah. Now you're present.
And now
and you feel like
you're present.
Yeah. And you're here. And do you feel that your purpose, you feel it within more than ever before?
Yes.
Because that is one thing that I feel that when I talk to my students, when they finally feel that connection, mm-hmm. right, and I call it the driving force, mm-hmm. is that one thing that when you connect to it, it mm-hmm. just wakes you up and you can't stop thinking about it. And it puts a smile on your face. It's like mm-hmm. when the sun rises. And even though if it's a cloudy day, you still know that the sun is there.
Yes.
So how do you feel about this new connection that you're feeling?
I'm fearless.
That's so it. Good.
How do I feel? I feel not scared. I feel not afraid. Like I told you, before when you came in, oh my God, I'm going to start the podcast. But it's just like all like
excitement,
beautiful excitement and anxiety, but not the negative.
Butterflies here in the stomach.
Exactly. And that is good.
That
is good. There's a difference between butterflies in your stomach and anxiety.
Yeah.
Anxiety comes from not being able to breathe properly. And not being able to breathe properly comes from where your breath is coming from. If your breath is shallow and it comes from the lungs, you say you're catching your breath because you cannot take it anymore. But if your breath comes from the energy that feels and feeds all your chakra energies in your body, then that's the beautiful thing. So there's a big difference. And so then so anxiety is when you can hardly breathe.
Right.
Okay. And then happiness and excitement, and it's your energy. It's your energy.
Fearless now. You're like.
Yes, exactly. And be careful, because being that, don't get me wrong, that doesn't mean that I have everything figured out.
Oh, not at all.
That doesn't mean that I'm gonna launch this podcast.
You're not scared about testing.
No, not at all. Exactly.
Right.
And if it happens,
taking the steps.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
If it happens, it's great.
Yeah.
And if something comes out wrong, I don't feel destroyed anymore.
Yeah.
I don't feel frustrated anymore.
Yeah.
I feel like, oh my God, okay, so this is not working. Okay, so what?
Gonna try.
Oh, exactly. So let me go ahead and try this. I might not like some things, of course. Mm-hmm. I'm human, like, oh, I don't like that one. And then also you have to be careful and watch out with the way you think. If you think that, oh, I did that wrong, I shouldn't have done that. That's not the way. Rephrase it immediately. Catch yourself and rephrase it.
Yeah.
No, you shouldn't have done that. Oh, good thing that you did that, like you said before, because you can learn from that. Yeah. And then go ahead. How do I, like the camera? Okay, the camera wasn't working. So what did we do? We figured it out,
right.
That was that getting me a little bit frustrated? Yeah, it's a little bit frustrated.
You didn't show that, but
then I found a solution.
It's like, we figured it out.
Exactly.
Yeah.
My video podcast mentor. And I'm so proud and so happy, because I don't think we said it in the beginning. That that she is our mentor from the Video Podcast Academy, and I'm happy that I met her, and I'm happy that I met you, so she's the one interviewing me. And the truth is because she told me about this episode 00, and I'm like, okay, what about if you interview me?
Yeah.
And she said,
okay, of course,
sure,
of course. Let's talk about your video podcast. It's an honor. It's an honor. Yeah.
So what else do you want to know?
All right, so now she's getting ready to launch her video podcast. You've heard her progress. You heard about everything that she's been through. And as we said, it's not necessarily a full transformation, but it's the learning process, right? And coming to a point where you learn not only about the topic, about the audience, but you learn about yourself.
Oh,
You know, which is an experience that a lot of people don't expect. Like you sign up for a course and you think, oh, I'm going to learn the tactics, the mic, the camera. But then all of a sudden you're in shock and learning that, wow, I'm learning about myself, right? So
great point.
Yeah. So now you're ready to launch. So give us exactly the day that you're launching, because this is going to go live the day of the launch. And everything that...
See what she makes me do?
Yes. We need to come in here. We need to come in.
She makes me do these things, and I'm like, and I had to put a date because I wasn't going to work for you. No? Sure.
Yes. And not only that, but also let's talk about all the good things that you're going to be talking about on the show, and exactly the people, the audience that you want to get to and you want to inspire every single time that you put an episode out there.
Oh yeah, I'm excited. I want to link the video podcast with my career in writing and coaching.
Which is, by the way, exactly what you should be doing, because it should be, video podcast should be part of your overall business strategy, not just a tactic out there. It should be part of your overall business strategy. So that's a great point.
And that's another thing that I didn't know where to put it.
Oh.
I knew I wanted to do things, but I didn't know how to link those things. And so then through this process, I realized that everything is interconnected. So when you interlace all of these abilities that you either have already or developed or learned through courses like yours, then you realize that they don't have to be independent or individually separate, exactly. And that's when I realized, oh my God, this is me. Everything is part of me. So it was a beautiful thing to say, I can integrate it all and I don't have to choose one.
Yes.
I don't have to choose one, because you know what? Everything is interconnected, and one thing has to do with the other, and one cannot be without the other. And so I have, I've already been interviewing since December some people, and I have this idea. I want to do one in English and I want to do one in Spanish. Yeah, it's a little bit challenging. Yes, it is. But
I give these type of students only like her, and they're overachievers.
But you know what? I'm not going to say, oh my God, it's going to be perfect. I'm going to do it. I'm going to try. Right. I'm going to try. So far, it's been working great. If come time in which I'm overwhelmed, I know that I can do it. Now I know how to say, wait a second, hold on, hold your horses. It's time to stop here. You've already done this.
Yeah.
Move on to your other project, which, you know, I have marinating, which is my books and all that. So, so what I've been doing is recording in English. And the first season that I have this in my mind, the first season, the first batch is going to be on women. Because I do want to give me first as a woman that, and I want to give you women out there, men, hold on one second to the side, but you know, I want to give us this opportunity to learn. It is possible to think, and it is possible to think out loud.
Wow.
You know?
It is possible to think, and it is possible to think out loud.
Okay. You don't have to swallow your words. You don't have to swallow your thoughts. And I'm talking about trivial things in life, you know, like every day being a mother, but what about being just a woman and having feelings and going through situations and trials and tribulations and accomplishments and tears and moments of desperation and moments of happiness. And so as women, we have a tendency to swallow a lot of things, whether it is when we're happy, when we're sad, even more. But when we're happy, also sometimes we don't even express, I'm so happy, you know, to have you here. I am so proud to be doing what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Okay. And when I'm sad, I don't want my children to see me cry. I don't want my husband to, you know what I'm thinking. I don't want my mother to know that I have this in my head. Why?
So true. So true.
Exactly.
And, you know, you're not the only one who feels it. I have felt it many times, many times in different occasions. So, so via your video podcast, how are you then going to help all these women out there that are feeling the same feelings? So you're going to give them words of encouragement, that it is okay to express those thoughts and those feelings, that it is okay to feel.
But in order for women to do that, in order for us to do that, we have to follow certain strategies, and we have to follow certain guidelines, because that's life, and life has some sort of order. So what I do with my guests is I show us how you accomplish what you accomplished by learning about yourself. And how did you learn about yourself? Perhaps by learning about your why, about your where do you want to go, how are you planning to create and design your roadmap. And so that's the kind of questions that I ask my guests, exactly. So instead of telling women, me talking alone, saying you should do this and this and this,
you tell them how.
I tell them how through the voices of my guests.
Beautiful, beautiful. So practical tips and tricks on how to do it. It's not just talking. It's actually actionable things that you can do to actually get out of that fear, if you will, of being.
Exactly.
Right?
And then I asked my guests, okay, so for our audience out there, how did you do it? And give us some tips. And I learned this from Sandy, some actionable tips. And when you stop listening to this video podcast or watching it or whatever, something that you can do right away. You know, like have your journal. You know, and I'm big on journaling, and have your journal on a pen always with you somewhere, or a piece of paper, or a piece of cartouche, you know, like paper or whatever. Paper bag. And jot down right away before time goes on, what did I learn from this? And so that's the purpose. What can I do? Oh, look how this guest did it. And also I don't want to bring famous people. Maybe in the future, like you say, we should have a list of people that, you know, that we admire, that we would love to invite to our show. But for now, I just want people like simple people like you and I that can show the audience that they went through situations and through a lot of stuff. And this is where they are right now. So I have authors, I have women that, you know, were able to publish their books. I have a man who came from very poor. That's the season 2. Okay, I'm already going ahead. So season 2 is only men. It's only men. It's only men that I talk to them, make sure that you are a man that admires us and that gives us our place. That was so funny. That was like, okay. Right. So most of the guests that I have for season 2 who are men, I know the way they think. I know how modern they are. I know how they feel about us women, and they don't feel afraid or intimidated, but they give us our space and they admire us, how we are. And so that's the kind of questions that I bring so where do you come from? And from where you come from to now, how did you get from there to here? Yeah. And so that's basically it.
So how often are you planning on getting this amazing content to your beautiful audience?
Well, I was thinking to do it. Well, you're going to have to help me with that, honestly. Because I was thinking, I don't know if it's something reasonable. I don't want to go, I'm already going crazy, you know, so I don't want to go any more crazy than that. But I already have recorded some episodes. So I don't know, I guess the ideal thing for now would be once a week.
That's perfect.
Just to put out the ones that I already have. And I broke it into different episodes. Yeah. You know, like 1 or 2, or one that is a little bit long, 2 of them, 3 parts.
That's perfect.
So I was thinking once a week. Once a week it should be enough, because people don't want to like hear the same person all the time talking about the same things, even though it's different guests.
Yeah, so everybody should expect to hear and watch this video podcast.
Starting February 28th.
She gave us a date.
Yeah, you told me that you wanted me. No. She told me, she said, you have to get a date in the academy. She told us all students. She's like, okay, there's a module there in her course that, sort of like forces us. And I because it forced me, and I'm so thankful. Because like I said before, I would have made plans and prepared everything and not have a date. So that is something that I will also learn about myself. Oh my God, but what happens is that I'm so used to deadlines in journalism that I have to do things right away.
Journalism,
no, right away. So I don't have a deadline for tomorrow
2 months.
or 2 months from now. My deadlines are yesterday. So with my life, my daughters and everything, I know, and I learned that about myself. It's oh my God, that's why this is happening. Because I am used to having things done yesterday. And then today, then it's something else. Yeah. So for me, it was really hard to schedule something for February 28th.
And this was back in December, by the way.
So then you were talking about the moon.
Yes.
Right? You were talking about the power of the moon. We're going to have a full moon, I think, around that time.
It is on the 28th, yes.
So those are the dates. That's it. I haven't moved those dates since I told you back in December.
Perfect. All right.
Yeah.
So we're getting here towards the end of your inaugural episode for the launch of your video podcast. So if there was just one message that you could share with your amazing new audience that are going to be listening to your video podcast and watching from this point forward, what would you say to them on this very first episode?
Oh my gosh. What I would say to them is like, everything is possible. I know it sounds like a cliche, but everything is possible. But it comes with something. Everything is possible if you do your homework. Everything is possible if you finally accept that there's a trajectory that you need to follow in order to get to that goal that you have set yourself. Otherwise, it's always going to stay in your head as a dream. So you choose. Do you want it to be just a dream, or do you want it to become a reality? So do your homework, and then everything is possible.
Bravo! For everyone listening and watching, this video podcast will be launched on February 28th, and then you can expect to watch it and listen once a week thereafter. There is going to be a lot of amazing content, as she said. For season 1 is going to be all the interviews with females, women. They are looking at reinventing themselves, doing things when they feel like that little light has gone away, after they feel empty nester. Guess what? The life can actually begin right there and then. And she is going to give you all the tips and tricks and the people that she's going to be interviewing to motivate you and to inspire you week after week.
And I want to thank them too, because they were very candid in their interviews. The people that I have interviewed so far, some of them were friends of mine and they knew me already.
Yes.
But some of them did not know me that much. And still they trusted me. So that is something that I don't take lightly. So I really want to appreciate those people that poured their hearts basically in the interviews.
Yeah.
Because that's not easy to do.
No.
So to them, cheers to them.
Cheers. Yeah. And if you have any comments, we'd love to hear from you. Leave your comments down below. Subscribe, and we look forward
Life with Purpose.
Life with Purpose.
Life with Purpose. That's
go.
what it is, finally.
There you go.
All right. Wow, so inspiring. Well, this concludes today's show. I'm so happy that I was able to share this material to provoke new ways of thinking, flex your mind a bit, inspire you to take steps, and all this to ignite your personal growth. Check back for the next episode, because I have more valuable content for you with actionable tips and great takeaway. Now, we would love to hear from you. Tell us on the comment below, was this advice helpful to you today? Were you able to relate and perhaps even identify the area of your life you can start refurbishing today? What actions will you take into practice right away to start seeing a difference? Don't forget, if you found this podcast helpful, please leave us a comment and leave us a review. Subscribe so you can receive notifications with useful content like this. And please share this podcast so our message here can help your friends and spread throughout the world so others can also have a life with purpose. This is Laura Galdo, your show host.